Hi everyone, welcome to our channel, the Ugoos and Zinn's family. Mr. Ugo is here and my wife,
Zinn.
Okay, today we are going to tell you guys about the passing on of our daughter Eva and a little bit of the stories about the challenges we have with her. So sit back and enjoy yourself.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you for viewing all our videos. Thank you for your subs. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your everything. Thank you for your referral. We say thank you once again. In today's video, my husband has already said what we'll be talking about. We're going to be telling you how Eva passed on and how we coped, and then how what we learned, exactly what we learned during her stay with us.
Okay, viewers. The day before Eva passed on, she was just a normal baby, even though she was having a little bit of a fever. So I bought her anti-malaria, tried to treat her, because that day wasn't the day for her normal hospital visit. So we treated her, but that day she was, her behavior was somehow. So I tried to stay close to her to monitor her. But at night we discovered that she wasn't feeding very well. She was having difficulties in feeding. So my wife wanted to feed her. After that, I went and laid her on her bed. So that was that. So that night, my wife told me around, say, 12 a.m., she told me that she would stand up, let's pray, that she's having some kind of feelings in her about our daughter. So we woke up, we prayed, we slept. But from time to time, anytime I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll go and check her. So in the morning, I went into their room, I opened the door, I looked at her, she wasn't moving. I raised her hand, it dropped. I tapped her, she wasn't moving. Wow, I confirmed that she was no more. So I didn't tell my wife. I told her, let's prepare the children for school. We prepared them for school. So I told her, please don't go and disturb Eva. I'm closing her room door, don't go and disturb her. Just wait for me till I come back from dropping the children from school, at school. So when we prepared the children for school, I drove them to school. So on my way coming back from school, my wife called me and started shouting that Eva is no longer moving her body. I told her, just keep calm, don't shout, I'm coming back, because she was heavily pregnant at that time. So that is how it happened. So when I got back home, I held her, I tried to console her. I told her I found out earlier that she should calm down, let's wait and take her to the hospital to confirm from the doctor and stuff like that.
Can I say something?
Yeah, continue.
Actually that morning, that night, when Eva was just being, that was the first time I couldn't feed her well. She just couldn't eat for a very long time. So I tried to feed her for over 2 hours. I was sitting down trying to feed her a small plate of food. She struggled to eat the food. So we thought it was a normal or usual malaria she used to have, because my husband bought the malaria drugs for us to give her. And I gave her, she took it, but very slowly. We didn't understand that she was going down. We didn't know. She was not running temperature. She was not, breathing was not bad, nothing. There was no sign or no alarm. Previous day she was not sick. So we fed her that night. My husband, I can remember, you were carrying her in the parlor there, sitting down, even sleeping off around 11 or so. I told you to go and lay her, that every time you move, she wakes up, so you should go and lay her. So he laid her in the room. I was awake. I just couldn't sleep that night. I was heavily pregnant. I was about 39 weeks pregnant. So I just couldn't sleep. I stayed awake for a very long time. And around that 12 or thereabout, that 12 or 2 or so, I told my husband that he should wake up, let's pray, that I wasn't feeling fine. I don't know how I feel, because I kept crying that night. He was asking me what is the problem. I said, I don't know, but I'm not just okay, I'm not just fine. So I told him to let's pray. So while we're praying, I discovered the only thing I was saying is, God, please show my daughter mercy. God, please show us mercy. Show my daughter mercy. I kept saying this thing over time. I didn't even know what I was saying. I kept praying like that, and until we got done praying, I lay down and I slept. In the morning, we woke up and I went to get her siblings ready for school. So my husband said I shouldn't He said I shouldn't go to the room, that if I sleep in, that I shouldn't go, because he knows once he goes out, I'll go and carry her outside to see the fresh air, receive morning light and all that. So play with her a little bit. So he said I should not bother carrying Eva, that if I know she didn't sleep early, that let her sleep a long time. At least let her rest before he will come back, before we could attend to her. Not knowing that he already knew that Eva had passed on, but Eva wasn't breathing again. So we woke up. So it's well. So after he left, I drank my tea. I was always drinking tea those days. I drank my tea and then I was like, what's that? Why won't I carry my child? If I come, let's go outside as usual. I went to her room. I called her by her pet name, Mama Girl. I called her. She wasn't responding. She wasn't answering. She wasn't saying anything. I on my flashlight. I flashed on her eyes. The eyes was half closed. So I was like, what's going on? I raised her feet. I slid my hand under her dress, and it felt like someone you laid close to the window, close by the window. I raised her feet. It fell weightless, I was like, Jesus, what's going on? I shook her. The one I shook her was how she turned and went back to her position. Oh, Jesus. And that was the first time in my entire life coming close to someone that just died. I screamed. I carried my phone. I started calling my husband. That was when I called him to rush back. Let's run with Eva to teaching hospital, because I don't understand what I'm saying. So
yeah, when I got back, I tried to calm her down. Our neighbors came. So what we did was I carried Eva on my shoulder, put her in the car, and drove her to our family doctor. When I got to Dr. James' house, he checked on her. What he told me was there's no life in her. So that was it. That he said I should, that if I like, I should still take her to the teaching hospital so that her doctor will confirm. So I said there's no need. Anyway, later I took her to the teaching hospital. I tried to get medical reports from the teaching hospital so that I can be able to drive her home for burial, because I've already called my dad, who is late now, of blessed memory. So he said I can bring her home. So the hospital couldn't give me the
certificate because they couldn't ascertain it.
Yes, they said they charged them there in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I told them that we come here almost every week. So we had to call our pastor, who said there's no need driving her home, and I confirmed from my dad too. He said we should look for a cemetery to, lay her there. So that is how it happened. I called my pastor. They came with some of our ministers. So
consulted a prayer section.
Who had a burial kind of section in the house here. Then I called my younger brother, who is also late, unfortunately. What a word. So he was on his way to, I think, Enugu. He was on his way to
Enugu, yes, Enugu. That day.
So and he told me he's stopping at any available park to drive down to come back to Uyo. So within the next 2 hours he was there, because he was the one that drove me all around that day, because I couldn't drive. I was shocked. So viewers, that is how Eva's curtain, closed, and it hasn't been easy since then, because anytime I pass through the cemetery, I always stop at the gate of the cemetery, looked at that place, I will smile. I say, rest in peace, sweetheart, because that was the first time, Eva's death was the first time a very close, family member died. So it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy for my wife. My wife was heavily pregnant, crying up and down. I tried to console her. In fact, after Eva died, I think she delivered in
2 weeks time.
2 weeks time. Imagine that. So trying to control her so that she will not have high blood pressure and stuff like that.
It's okay, guys. So don't think that we're going to shed tears. We're not going to shed tears. We're telling you this story because we overcame. We are stronger now. We are happier. We thank God for everything.
And so many lessons.
Yes, and we learned so many lessons. To me, I learned that Taking care of Eva taught me to love anyone without expecting anything in return. I learned that it is nice to be kind to people. It is nice because sometimes you don't know what the person is going through. Just show the person kindness.
And for me, I feel fathers out there who have or who is passing through this same situation, there is no need abandoning your child. There is no need. There is no need abandoning your wife. There is no need abandoning your home. There is no need being angry. It's not your fault, and it's not the fault of your wife or the fault of the child. It just came on. Because during my research those days, through Google, so I came across a place. They said that for a child to have cerebral, they said what they wrote there exactly is every 100 children
born,
for every 100 children born, is only one child that will have CP.
I remember my husband kept asking, why was my child that one child? My husband kept saying that word.
It's crazy, you know.
So now I want you to also understand that you should not blame yourself for anything. Don't dwell in guilt. Don't stay mad at yourself or at that child. Don't abandon that child.
Love her so much.
Love the child.
One day I came across a woman. During the time I normally take her to the physio center, I came across a woman. She told me that, Oga, why are you stressing yourself? Leave this child at home. Just look at. I have one of my neighbors in the village. Her child had CP. They locked the child in a room. Only sent food to her. You know. I looked at the woman. I said, "Are you serious?" So you don't have to, you know, kill yourself or abandon the child. It's not her fault. Eva is so loved by everyone. I love her so much. I still feel her till tomorrow because she's my carbon copy and she's the child of my youth, my first daughter. I don't play with her. So I want to tell parents out there to always seek good medical advice during pregnancy. And also
ask for help. If you have a child with disability, your strength will not always be enough. Ask for help. Ask people to help. Maybe you might need to go cool off sometimes. You might need to go take some rest. You might just need to sleep. You need someone to help. These were things we never knew, we never did. We were battling with all these things on our own. Even though our families and good friends, few of them knew. They knew, but we were dealing with all these things. So, ask for help. Try to rest your body. Don't carry all the burden you have on your head because you will not be able to bear it all. So, always try to get that physiotherapy if your child needs a physiotherapy. Even if you're not seeing results, just stay hopeful. Excuse me, because God knows why He gave you that responsibility and He will not forsake you.
And families out there, also check on your brothers and sisters who are married, especially young ones who are married. They need your love all the time. Always check on them.
They need your support.
To know how they are doing.
They need your support.
Because most of them go through a lot of things and they will not want to share it out.
Even to their close family members.
Because
they will feel judged.
During that time, you know, because I'm a very private person and I like dealing with, I like handling my matter between me and my wife. So sometimes my wife wants us to, you know, tell people about what we are facing or what we are going through. I will tell her, calm down, let's sort this out between ourselves. So I feel we should also reach out to our young couples out there to know how they are doing and to render advices and help to them.
Help, support. If you see any parent with a child of disability, any kind of disability of any form, support them in your own little way. Even if you don't have my financial support to give to them, give them your time, give them your ears. Just go visit them. Just encourage them. Just make them feel like this thing will not end their life, because I don't believe anyone in this world does not have a problem. The only thing you have, the one that the people are seeing. Some other people are carrying their own in their back and you wouldn't see. Some are carrying it in their stomach, you wouldn't know. So just support those young couples and encourage them, please. And stop making parents with child of disability feel so pathetic. Stop looking at them as if something worse has happened to them. encourage them and pray with them, support them guys. This will be where this video is gonna end today, and I'll see you in our next video. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. Bye.